you are always both the student and the teacher at the same time. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Unmasked Parenting Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Cox. I run the Neurocircus, and we are all about helping neurodivergent families uncover hidden needs, accommodate those hidden needs, and thrive in a life they don't need a vacation from. So today on our Unmasked Parenting Podcast, we are talking all about how you can be the student and the teacher at the same time. In the Parenting Unmasked podcast, we had just talked about how much you can learn from your neurodivergent kids and how important it is to really take that in and to learn those lessons, because now we're going to flip it on its head. So in the Parenting Unmasked podcast, we talk a lot about late diagnosed neurodivergent women. And I think as late diagnosed neurodivergent women, a lot of us have had thumbs kind of holding us down. We've been told we're not enough. We don't try hard enough. We don't, we're not organized enough. We need to do more. We need to try better. We don't care. All of these things that we've been told that make us feel less than, that make us feel unqualified to teach. So we're going to go back through all of these things that we said our kids could teach us in the other podcast, and we're going to talk about how we need to teach the people around us how this works. Because this is what happens. Our kids teach us what they need. And then it's up to us to be the teacher and advocate to everybody else, to help everybody else understand what our kids need and also what we need. And there's that balance in there, right? Because a lot of us have not had someone to advocate for us. So we're advocating for our kids, and that can come out in a very harsh, push back, fight the system sort of manner. But we need to tone it back a little bit, because teaching is done from a place of love, from a place of I care about you enough to help you understand this, not from a demanding place, from a frustrated place, from a you're not doing it my way place. So we're going to take a break real quick, and then we will get right into it. May is huge here at the Neurocircus. So I just want to take a few moments to say how extremely excited I am for all of the fun and amazing stuff we have coming up from May through September. It's going to be nothing but a party and all kinds of fun in so many different ways. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to talk about May specifically, and then we will touch on a couple other things real fast and move back to the podcast. So first off, we are rolling out our re-grand opening in May. The Neurocircus has been around on social media for about a year and a couple of weeks now, but May was when we really jumped in. May was when I launched my 3 books. May was when I started really doubling down on TikTok posting and things like that. And I'm just really excited to be in this space, to be able to bring you guys just a month full of fun. Okay, so we're going to start out starting on May 5th. Yes, Cinco de Mayo. We're going to start with our Abundantly Aligned Action Challenge. It's going to be a monthly challenge, guys. It's going to be free. It's going to come to your inbox. You're going to get buy it like 2 times a week. On Mondays and Thursdays, you're going to get emails to your email. It's going to have links to videos. We are going to talk about all the things to move you from a place where you have a big vision but don't really know where to go, to taking those abundantly, divinely aligned action steps in order to just rock your manifestations. I'm so excited about this. I have so much behind the scenes stuff and all of that. So that's going to start happening on the 5th. I'm going to all next week. We're going to have some big fun things going on leading up to that to, just kind of promote that. May 17th is a big day, guys. We are relaunching, or I should say launching again, or launching on its own. The new book, which is going to take all 3, the center ring, the first ring, and the third ring, and it's going to combine them into one book with fun stories and fun little examples and different things to help you really bring the Neurocircus, the rings of that circus, to life in your life. So I'm ridiculously excited. We're going to do all of the rest of May. So from the 17th, when it launches, all the way through to the end of May, if you buy the book during that time, I'm going to have a special 6-week coaching program to help you go through the book. We're going to do live calls. We're going to do hot seats. It's going to be amazing and so much fun. So that is at the end of May. June and July are going to be summer camp, which I'm so excited about. We're going to be helping you guys bring your own summer camps to your own areas, as well as creating an online one for those who don't necessarily want a bunch of kids in their yard or at their park and stuff. We're going to do it where we can have just a bunch of fun, and we can take pictures and videos, and the kids can kind of get to know each other in a tight knit community. And that is going to be the start of, I want a drum roll, and I don't have a drum roll, but I'm so excited. That's going to be the start of our homeschool co-op too. Starting in September, we're going to start the homeschool co-op. August is going to be the intro to that. We're going to have a challenge to getting your homeschool ready. So many good things. And I'm so excited for just all of this. It feels like so much momentum, but in the best way possible, guys. I'm so excited. So I will leave you back to the podcast, but keep May in mind. This is so exciting. All right, welcome back. Let's get into this Unmasked Parenting Podcast episode. So we are tasked Okay, I will use that word. We are tasked. This is your mission, should you choose to accept it, to help other people understand what you need and what your kids need, what your family needs as a whole. That is where you get to be the greatest teacher. You get to teach other people. And again, I'm going to reiterate this. Teaching comes from a place of love, of respect, of care. You care enough about that relationship with that person to share this with them so that they can have the best relationship with you and your family and all of that. So patience and unconditional love, those are things that go without saying that our kids teach us, okay? Now we need to be on the other end of that, right? Patience. They're teaching us to be patient. We need to help other people learn that patience. Maybe they are not even patient with their own kids sometimes. And I think that is where just you being the example and having patience, and I know it's hard, okay? I can't tell you how hard this is. It is so, so, so hard when you are out there trying to do the thing, trying to help your kid, and you're showing patience, but other people are not showing patience. And that can be a place where it just is so hard because you just want to go, well, I have to have patience. And you can want to come at them. You can want to, you need to show my kid patience. Take a breath, because you're not showing them patience. And if you're not showing these people patience, they don't have an example to go by, because chances are they never had the example. Chances are they were raised with impatient parents and impatient, other role models. And so they grew up thinking that that's just how things were, and patience wasn't something that they were allowed to have. And so when we can take that in and say, okay, I have to be patient with these people. I have to have unconditional love and understand that they are human beings, that they have the right to their own thoughts and the right to their own opinions and the right to have their own feelings, right? I can be incredibly mad because I had to go through stuff because I wasn't diagnosed as a kid, but that doesn't make it okay for me to spill that to other people. I just have to deal with my feelings, feel my feelings, get through it, but that's not the way society wants us to do it. Society wants us to either take it and crumble it up, throw it over here and forget about it, or they want us to take that and use that as fuel to shove our agenda on other people. And no, I don't have to be patient. No one's patient with me. Look at where it got me. You should not be patient with your kids. You should be, and just to kind of perpetuate that cycle, right? So, and that is not unconditional love. If we are not being patient, that is not showing unconditional love. That is showing 100% conditional love. And that is a hard place, right? Our kids show us unconditional love because a lot of times we snap at them, we get upset with them, we, tell them to do something and they forgot, or, we didn't explain it good enough, or things like that. And we will get mad at them and they're just like, oh, mommy, oh, daddy, I love you. And at some point you have to really think about that. If you were treating another adult the way you treat your kids, would you expect them to be that way? We say, well, they're our kids. We have to teach them a lesson. Teaching is like a gavel, slamming the hammer down. And that's just not what teaching is. That would be judging. That would be, pushing your agenda, however you want to say it. But that is not teaching. Teaching comes from a place of, I am sharing with you because I love you. And love is not harsh. It isn't. I hear this thing about tough love, but that's the point of tough love. Tough love still comes from a loving place. It's not tough in frequency. The things that you're doing might be tough, but the frequency that it comes from is not agitated and frustrated and mad and I get my own way. It's, I need to do this to show you that you need to learn this lesson. And sometimes tough love takes a long time when you do it the right way, because if you're doing tough love in the demanding, forcing way, then you're not doing tough love. You're just intimidating and manipulating your kid. And that is another podcast for another day. So, growth mindset, that is another one where we have, especially as adults, we come into this thing with this idea of, okay, we've learned everything we're going to learn. Almost like learning is like height, right? We hit a certain age, we stop growing, we stop getting taller. We hit a certain age, we stop really learning. And everything that we've learned already is just, it is what it is. And we can't learn new stuff, and we can't change our mind, and we can't change our perspective. And that comes from a place of other people not wanting you to have that freedom. Other people wanting to hold you down, to keep you boxed in where they want you. So when we have that growth mindset, and we can come from a place of a growth mindset and saying, okay, I was taught this and this worked for me for, my whole life. But now that I have a kid, I'm trying to do the same things and this kid is not responding the way that I did, and I don't understand. This is how it's supposed to be, right? I'm just supposed to raise my kid the way I was raised, and they're going to turn out like me, and that's just... And it's very natural for us to think that that's the way that we're supposed to do it. But each individual person is just that individual. And they have their own thoughts and their own needs and their own desires and their own, wishes and dreams and hopes. And it is up to us to really dig down and work with them. Help them, you need to help them help themselves in that sense. All right, we're going to take a quick break. and we will be right back to finish off our podcast episode. All right, guys, we have to talk about the Out of the Darkness walk in Indianapolis. It is in September. I believe it's September 9th. If not, I'll put it up on the screen when it is, but it is in September. It is suicide prevention and awareness. And we do this every year with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. They're an amazing community. They come together. They help provide awareness. They help provide counseling and therapy to people who are suicide survivors. They do so much for the suicide community. And I just really need to. I've tried year after year after year to get a big group. And I know that the circus team can show up and show out. So guys, I am going to post the link to my the Neuro Circus walk team. And if you cannot be here in person, it's in Indianapolis. If you cannot be in beautiful Indianapolis, sign up virtually, okay? Sign up virtually, sign up for the team. Help us help hundreds of people who need the help, who need therapy, counseling, who need, to just know that there's a community out there. Help us to reach communities who are being, ostracized, and it's creating that desire for those things to happen, which is just not a good thing. We know in the neurodivergent community that is one of the places where sometimes that shows up as a way to get rid of all of the feelings of sad and being bullied and all of that, and that's not good and it's not okay. So at the Neuro Circus, we take that near and dear to our heart because we know that there's a lot of our people that this organization helps. So I will leave the date and the link and everything in the description below. I will get you right back to the podcast. Okay, welcome back. We've talked about teaching others and how we can teach, how we need to teach others from what our kids teach us. Our kids teach us patience and unconditional love and the growth mindset, and how we need to be helping other people with ourselves, and then helping other people to be taught these lessons as well. And so we get to the simple pleasures one. And on the other podcast that I was doing the same kind of thing, just the opposite side of it, right? I was talking about how it can be hard as a ambitious neurodivergent adult, because you can feel like you want all of these things, and we are taught that success is the big house and the car and the $1 million bank account and jewelry and experiences and all of these things, and that's what we're taught success is. So we feel like we're not successful unless we have these things, okay? And so in the teaching side of it, we have to really dig deep. We have to think about, or the teaching side, the student side, we have to think about what it is that we want. Okay, what we really want, what really makes us feel happy, what really lights us up, what really makes us feel successful. And those are the things that we need to really go after. And we need to allow our kids to not feel like the simple pleasures are a bad thing. We need to see how they react to, oh, we get to go to the pool today, or oh, we get to go to the park, we got ice cream today as a treat. Little things, right? It's little tiny things. It's the time that you spend with your kid before bed. It's the this conversations and all of those things that feel very simple and feel very like, oh, well, that's not success. Like, okay, you had a conversation with your kid, but that's one, there are parents out there who would tremendously think that was success and would desire that and are wanting that. On top of that, though, there is also that idea that we need to stop chasing so hard after these things, these big things. They'll come to us when the time's right. It's not bad to want those things. It's bad to stop looking at the small things as being just as good as the big things. That is the small pleasures, and how we can teach others that, okay, I can take a day off of work. I did that the other day. I took a day off. We went to the zoo, and actually we went to the zoo, and then we came home and we had dinner that I was really excited about. Like, it was like the whole date just went really good. I spent some time hanging out with a friend, late into the night, and then the next day I woke up and I was like excited because I just had that break, but also I didn't get enough sleep the night before. And so I actually ended up pretty much taking a second day off. And in the world that we live in, that would be looked at as, see, you took a day off and then you needed a day off from your day off, and that's just compounding, and you need to just get in there and do the dang thing. And if I hear one more person say do the dang thing, I get it. Yes, action is what causes things to happen, but we can't effort ourselves into getting these things, okay? That's not how this works. If efforting itself into getting these things is how it worked, everybody would be doing it, okay? There are people who take the right, correct, aligned action that get results, but you can't just effort yourself in whatever and expect everything to just come to you. It's not how this works. So the simple pleasures, taking time to just be grateful for the things that you have, to spend time with those you care about, to do all of those things matter. And us teaching other people that those things matter is big, okay? There was a time when I would have said to myself, you can't post about taking your kids to the zoo because you don't have $1 million bank account right now. So as far as that's concerned, you're no different than any other person out there doing the dang thing and, whatever. Like, you don't have that authority to do that. And that is the place where I go, you know what? I do, though. I have the authority on the fact that I know in my heart of hearts that when I follow my own calling and doing what I feel called to do in any given moment, that the success is going to follow, because I'm listening to my intuition, because I'm not being scared to put myself out there doing the things that I need to do to move everything forward. Coming from a place where the world at large feels like everybody is hustle and bustle, everybody is in their like hustle culture of feeling like you need to do more and be more and have more. And that is not regulating to the nervous system as a whole, okay? You can have the grace and the ease and the flow, and things can come to you, and you can have more, and having more can allow you to do more and be more, sure. But that is not the culture as a whole. The culture is not the enjoy your life, take the day off, do this, do that, like do the easy stuff. The culture is run, go, go, until you make a, you make a success, have a victory. And then you could take, 15 hours off, and then you need to go right back in and keep going. And while there is some truth to that, okay, if we just have one victory and we stop after that, chances are it's not gonna be sustainable, okay? But sustainable is also not working and pushing and grinding and pushing your body to the limit every single day for a week or two to have a day off and start over again. That's not sustainable either, okay? This is why we have so much chronic illness coming up. This is why we have so much, people who are overweight, people who are having mental health issues. Like, all of that comes from pushing yourself farther, and then all of the things that we choose to do to cope with not wanting to be where we're at, okay? I think that is the key to everything, is you have to do things from a place of wanting to be where you're at, or knowing that in doing these things, you're going to get where you want to be. Okay, so either you're making the choice to only do the things that you want to do. If you have that ability to make those kinds of choices, and maybe not everything, right? Like, I don't like doing dishes, all right? But I still need to do them until I can afford to pay somebody else to do them. But that being said, like, either having yourself in a place where that you're choosing what lights you up. And we need to do more of that, period. If you're in a place where you're feeling incredibly blocked and like nothing is going right and like you're just miserable all the time, you need to put more of what lights you up in your life. Because if you continue to drain yourself, you're just going to continue to drain yourself. You have to be or see or feel or do the things that light you up in order to have more of that. Like attracts like. So if you're never doing the things that you love, if you're never living a life that lights you up, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have to do that jump off the edge at some point and do something. Take a moment for you, do something to get yourself there. And that's the hustle culture that we live in. That is just, we don't have to live that way. We can live a life where we get to play and have fun and things still come to us. And again, that all comes from deciding what you really want and all of those different things, right? But we need to teach people, and this is again where we come back to, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but we need to teach people what it is that we want, why we want it, and then how we're going to go about getting it. And when we can teach people that, they either get on board or they don't. But even if they don't get on board, if you stand in your power and you stay there and you continue to do the things and take the steps, they're going to either eventually get on board or they're going to wish they had, right? They're going to be in that space where they're going to see that you're successful. They're going to see that you're doing these things. So when it comes to our kids, and this is the big thing, right? We have to do these things for ourselves first, okay? And let me be clear about that. We need to do these things for ourselves first, because we cannot just do them for our kids and then our kids are going to just do them for their kids, but they're not going to learn that they need to do them for themselves. We are the example all the way through from start to finish. We're the example on how to handle things, on how to process emotions, on how to, everything that we do, we are showing them how to do it. So when it comes to sensory things and stuff like that, right? Again, hustle culture says like loud, and says loud, bright, attracting all of this stuff, right? But sometimes our kids just can't have that. Sometimes our kids need quiet. Sometimes our kids need, to have that moment where we're just hanging out. And it is up to us to teach people what our kids need sensory-wise, what our kids need nervous system regulation-wise, right? Like, I can tell you right now, here's one that I think a lot of us don't necessarily always think about this way. However we ate growing up, whether it was we had breakfast at a certain time and then, lunch and a snack at dinner, or, we didn't have breakfast and so you didn't eat till like 11 and then you had lunch and a snack and dinner. However it was that we were raised, that we did this thing, right? We tend to think our kids are going to be the same way. And so it's important for us to, like, sleep is the same way. Sleep, food. If you are tired or hungry, it is going to be ridiculously hard to get your nervous system regulated and your emotions regulated. And that right there is the whole thing. That right there, if you can have a regulated nervous system and regulated emotions, you are successful. That's success. you can take on anything at that point and do anything from a place of knowing that you're able to handle it. So when it comes to those things, like I said, we have to be able to teach people, and that doesn't look like the way we grew up. So when you're telling your, the grandparents, well, they like to eat, a few bites like every couple hours or something like that. And then they, and they're still getting the food in, but they're not getting it in a way that overstimulates them, or, different things. We offer certain foods. We have certain safe foods in the house that, our kids who are, we call it picky, but it's not picky. It's they have food aversions. They have, sensory sensitivities to certain textures. And, they can eventually handle that. They can take a little bit at a time and try it. But a lot of times as parents, we want to step down on them and be like, no, you have to do this. You have to finish your peas. You have to, but then we don't do it. And that doesn't make sense to them. So when we can come from the place where we can, see them as little individual people and not as kids, right? They are kids, and we are supposed to protect them and love them and care for them and do those things. And we're supposed to teach them. But if your kid eats broccoli and doesn't eat peas, or eats green beans and broccoli and doesn't eat Brussels sprouts and lettuce, you're still teaching them to be healthy, right? It's not like they have to like everything and they have to, have every experience and they have to whatever. You need to come from a place where you're able to open up and you're able to allow for them to teach you what they need so that then you can teach other people. And I'm going to end with this one little tidbit here. Not everybody is ready to be taught, okay? Sometimes we are in that in-between, in that area where maybe we know that we should be listening to other people. We know that we don't have it all right ourselves. We know that for whatever reason, it's not working. I want you to be patient with those people, but I also want you to put some distance with those people, okay? If there are people in your life that you know that you should be teaching, I want you to figure out what it is you're supposed to be teaching them. And then in the nicest, most loving way, help them, kind of communicate what you're trying to teach them. And if they are still not ready after being, patient and kind and loving and coming from that place, then I want you to put distance between yourself. It doesn't mean cut them off. It doesn't mean never talk to them again. That is entirely up to you and your own way of doing things and your own thoughts and what you need. But I will say putting some distance, it'll do a couple of things. First of all, it will give you the ability to step back and look at the big picture. Do you necessarily really need this person? Is this person in your life somebody who lights you up or who drains you? And maybe if they drain you, maybe it's just this is not their time to shine in your life, okay? If they light you up, but this is one area where they don't, they're gonna feel that you're pulling back your energy and they're gonna wonder themselves. And that's gonna lead them to ask questions. That's gonna lead them to, communicate to you or to really think inside themselves. And it will bring you to a place where hopefully they will be ready to learn, ready to be taught from you. If that is not the case, okay, if that is not the case and that is not where you're at and this person is just dead set their way or the highway, you're not going to change their mind anyway. When we remove people from our lives, when we pull our energy back from people and distance ourselves from people, that allows the right people to come in, the right people to find us. So I just want you to remember that if you're in that situation where this is one area where you just feel like these people are not going to learn from you, you've tried, all these different things, give it one last chance from that space of realizing what you're teaching them, realizing that you can be both, owning that power that you can be both. And then if from that confident state, they still are not listening, allow them to walk away or pull your energy back from them, however that has to happen, and just watch what happens, how new people come in, new situations come in, new help comes in. It will happen because you're giving yourself the ability for it to happen. I'm Kimberly Cox. This is the Neurocircus and the Unmasked Parenting Podcast. I hope you got something out of this today. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, pass this on to other people, and we will talk to you next week. Bye.